The hidden signs he's not interested in. Have you ever spent hours analyzing every message, every look, every word of it, trying to decipher if there is something real or if you are just living an illusion? That feeling of anxiety in the stomach when it takes a long time to respond, the hope that grows with each interaction, and then emptiness when he realizes that maybe you're more invested than he is. The truth is that most women waste months, even years, in situations where the signs were screaming in their faces from the start. Not because they are blind, but because no one has taught them to read between the lines of male behavior. Today that ends. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 8 hidden signs that he's not interested in you. The ones he'll never admit, but that his behavior screams loud and clear. It's not about pessimism, it's about power. The power to identify the truth and make smart decisions about your heart and your time. Get ready, because some of these signs will hurt, but they will set you free. 1. He always has time, except for you. The agenda of an interested man always has room for the woman he wants to conquer. It sounds simple, but this is one of the most ignored truths when we are emotionally involved. He manages to schedule happy hour with friends every week, never misses Thursday football, is always available to solve problems at work, and even finds time for that new Netflix series. But when you suggest a date, the response comes loaded with elaborate excuses and vague promises of, "One of these days we'll see each other." Pay attention to the pattern. It's not about it being actually busy once or twice. Everyone has busy periods in life. The problem lies in the consistency of this unavailability directed specifically at you. He's never free on the weekends, but you can see on social media that he's been out with other people. He says he is too tired to go out, but appears in stories of parties and bars. The math doesn't close because he just doesn't want it to close. When a man is really interested, he rearranges his life to fit you into it. He cancels less important appointments, wakes up earlier, sleeps later, juggles routine because being with you becomes a genuine priority. It's not about having free time left over. It's about choosing to create that time. People invest energy in what they value, and if he's not investing time in you, it's because you're not on his priority list. Another crucial detail: notice how he reacts when you're not available. An interested man shows real disappointment, suggests alternatives, asks when you will be free. He doesn't just accept it with an indifferent, "all right," and disappear for days. Reciprocity in the interest of spending time together is a reliable thermometer. If you're always the one who suggests dates and he's always the one who has excuses ready, your heart already knows the answer your mind is avoiding facing. Time is the most valuable resource we have. It is not renewable. It does not come back. It does not multiply. When someone chooses to spend this precious resource on you, they're making a silent statement of value. And when someone consistently doesn't find time for you, that's also a statement, perhaps the most honest of all. Stop accepting crumbs of attention from those who should be offering you a feast of presents. You deserve someone who doesn't need to be convinced that their time is valuable. 2. The short answers that say it all. The way someone talks to you reveals exactly the level of interest they have. When a man is really interested, conversations flow naturally because he wants to get to know you, wants to stay in touch, wants to build connection. He asks questions about your day, demonstrates genuine curiosity about your tastes, shares stories, and creates dialogues that go beyond the superficial. But when interest isn't there, you notice a completely different pattern. Monosyllabic, dry responses that close issues rather than develop them. You send a message telling something important that happened and get a nice back. You share an exciting experience and the answer is a generic emoji. You try to start a conversation about his interests and the answers are so short that they seem designed specifically to kill any possibility of conversation flowing. This behavior is not shyness or difficulty in communication. It is disinterest being communicated as clearly as possible without having to use these exact words. The most revealing thing is in the comparison. Observe how he interacts on social networks with other people, how he comments on publications, how he responds to stories. If with others he is communicative, funny, expansive, but with you the answers seem to be ripped out with pliers, there is no doubt about the subliminal message. He knows how to talk, he chooses not to talk to you. The difference is brutal and painful, but it needs to be recognized. Another important aspect is response time combined with quality. It's not just that it takes him hours to respond, but that when he does respond, the message doesn't carry any emotional investment. There is no depth. There is no attempt to continue the dialogue. There are no questions of return. It's as if he's fulfilling a minimal social obligation, responding only to not appear completely rude, but with no real desire to keep the interaction going. People who are passionate or interested have difficulty ending conversations. They are looking for reasons to keep talking, to prolong the interaction, to create more moments of connection. When someone is constantly closing dialogues with answers that don't open doors to continuity, they're literally shutting the door in your face, only in a polite way. Pay attention to this silent language. His words may be few, but the message is loud and clear. He's not interested in building something with you. If you often fall for emotionally unavailable men, there's something deeper within you, trying to be understood. Discover it inside the Jung Method. Link pinned below. 3. The future is a forbidden subject. Men who see the future with you aren't afraid to talk about plans. It could be something as simple as suggesting a new restaurant they want to visit with you next month, commenting on a concert coming 3 months from now, or casually mentioning that trip that would be cool to take together someday. These references to the future, even when casual, demonstrate that he is mentally already including you in the next chapters of his life. But when a man is not interested in anything serious, any mention of the future is met with visible discomfort. He changes the subject quickly, gives vague and evasive answers, or simply ignores what you said altogether. If you comment on an event that is going to happen in a few weeks, he doesn't take a position on going with you. If you mention vacation plans, he shows no interest in being a part of them. Everything is kept in the immediate present because future commitments imply continuity, and continuity is not in his plans. Notice also how he speaks of his own future life. He shares dreams, professional goals, places he wants to visit, but never includes you in these narratives. You are a spectator of his plans, never a participant. When someone is building a future and you don't even appear as a possibility in this construction, the message is being transmitted. He can imagine himself in a year, 5 years from now. But in these mental images, you just don't exist. The avoidance of the future also appears in the small things of everyday life. He never suggests appointments in advance. Everything is decided at the last minute, always on the spur of the moment. He doesn't make plans for the next weekend because making plans means admitting that you'll still be in his life next week, and he doesn't want to create that expectation. Keeping everything in the immediate field is a strategy to not make commitments or create illusions of continuity. Women often ignore this sign because they believe that the present is enough to be good for the future to be built naturally. But healthy relationships include projection, they include dreaming together, they include making plans. When someone keeps you stuck in the present without ever looking forward with you, they're making it clear that you're a temporary situation, not a long-term choice. And you deserve someone who not only wants you today, but who is excited about the idea of having you tomorrow as well. 4. You are the last option, not the priority. There is a brutal difference between being a priority and being a convenient option. When you are a priority, your needs matter, your wants are considered, your presence is actively desired. When you're just an option, it triggers you when better alternatives aren't available. And you can identify this by the pattern of when it appears and when it disappears. He always gets in touch at the same times, usually late at night or at times when he clearly has nothing better to do. He never comes to you on Saturday morning to propose a walk, but texts you on Sunday night when he is bored at home. He doesn't call you to important events or situations where other interesting people may be present. You are the choice of convenience, not the first option. Also notice the pattern of cancellations. He makes an appointment with you, but if any other minimally more attractive opportunity arises, he unschedules without hesitation. Did friends call for something last minute? He cancels you. Has a work appointment appeared? You stay in the background. Is he just tired? He prefers to stay at home alone than to keep the commitment to you. Each cancellation is a statement of where you really stand on their scale of priorities. The hierarchy becomes even clearer when you need it. Are you going through a difficult time and need support? It is not available. Do you invite him to something important in your life? He makes an excuse. But when it's convenient for him, when he needs company or attention, then you are remembered and sought after. This unbalanced reciprocity reveals everything about how he sees you, as a resource available for when he needs you, not as a person whose needs and moments matter too. Interested men rearrange priorities to include you in them. They may be busy, but they make a point of fitting you into the routine. They don't always leave you for later. They don't treat you as a plan B. They don't act as if their presence is replaceable or optional. When someone truly values you, it manifests itself in concrete and consistent prioritization actions. If you live in expectation of being chosen, if you are always available waiting for him to fit you into his schedule, if you accept to be the convenience option because at least then you have some contact with him, you are putting yourself in a place of devaluation. You are nobody's leftover. You are not last-minute entertainment. You are the complete person who deserves to be the first choice of someone who recognizes your worth. And as long as you accept being treated as an option, you will continue to attract men who see you exactly like that. 5. He keeps you hidden from his world. When a man is proud to be with you, he wants the world to know. Not in an exhibitionist or exaggerated way, but in a natural and genuine way. He introduces you to friends, includes you in social programs, mentions you in conversations, shares aspects of his life with you. There is a natural integration because you become an important part of his life, and important people are included, not hidden. But if you notice that there is a clear division between you and the rest of his existence, that is a giant red light. You've never met his friends, even after months of interacting. He never invited you to anything that involves his social circle. On social media, you are non-existent, as if you were not part of his life. He doesn't post anything with you, doesn't tag you in anything, doesn't comment on your posts so that others can see the interaction between you. This compartmentalizing behavior reveals two equally bad possibilities. Either he's keeping options open and doesn't want other people to know you're getting involved, or he just doesn't see you as someone he wants to publicly associate with his image. Both situations indicate a lack of real commitment and genuine interest. You are kept secret, a hidden part of his life that cannot leak into the other compartments. Another revealing aspect is how he reacts if you happen to meet in public places where other people he knows are. Does he act naturally and present you as someone important, or is he clearly uncomfortable, treats you distantly, avoids displays of closeness? His knee-jerk reaction in unplanned situations shows the truth that he may be disguising in controlled situations. Men in love want to integrate the person into their lives. It's not about exposing everything on social media or making dramatic public announcements, but about naturally including yourself in the different spheres of life. You meet friends, family occasionally. You get mentioned in conversations, you exist publicly as part of his life. When you're kept separate from everything and everyone, he's telling you wordlessly that you're not someone he's taking seriously. And you deserve someone who is proud to have you around, not someone who hides you as if it were an inconvenient secret. 6. The effort is always one way. Healthy relationships have one key characteristic: reciprocity. Both sides invest, plan, surprise, show active interest. There is a natural balance where both contribute to keeping the connection alive and growing. But when only you are paddling while he just enjoys the ride, something is deeply wrong. You're always the one who starts conversations. You are always the one who suggests dates. You are always the one who asks questions to get to know him better. You are always the one who shows genuine interest in his life. And him? He only responds when convenient, accepts invitations when he has nothing better, answers the minimum necessary, never reciprocates curiosity or effort. This imbalance is no coincidence. It is a clear message about his level of interest. Try doing a simple but revealing test. Stop initiating contact. Stop starting a conversation, suggesting dates, doing all the work of keeping you connected. Just notice how long it takes for him to spontaneously look for you. If days, weeks, or worse, if he simply never looks for you, you have your answer served on a silver platter. He was comfortable with you making every effort because you didn't have enough interest to do his part. Also, notice the small gestures or the absence of them. He never remembers important things you mentioned. He never surprises you with anything, not even something simple like a message thinking about you in the middle of the day. He never shows that he has paid real attention to what you like, your tastes, your preferences. All this because attention and effort naturally go to what we value, and if he is not investing any of it in you, it is because you are not being valued. Women often fall into the trap of believing that if they keep trying, eventually they will respond. That if you show enough value, enough dedication, enough interest, he will wake up and realize how special you are. But the reality is cruel. You can't negotiate desire. Either he wants to invest in you or he doesn't. And when you don't want to, all your extra effort only serves to prolong a situation that will never evolve to where you expect. You deserve a love where you don't have to beg for attention, where you don't have to carry the weight of keeping everything running alone, where the interest is mutual and obvious. Stop settling for relationships where you're the only person really present. Your effort is too valuable to be wasted on those who do not reciprocate. Save all that energy for someone who recognizes the value of what you offer and is willing to give it back. 7. He disappears and comes back when he wants. There is a pattern of behavior that is extremely common in men who are uninterested, but still want to keep you as an available option. The famous disappearance followed by sudden reappearance. It is super present for a few days or weeks, then it simply evaporates without explanation. You don't respond to messages, you don't give satisfaction, you act as if you don't exist. And just when you're already starting to move on, it magically reappears with some vague excuse or acting like nothing happened. This inconsistent behavior is not mystery or emotional complexity, it is pure manipulation. It disappears when it finds something or someone it finds more interesting, or simply when it is not in need of the attention and validation you offer. And it reappears when the other situation didn't work out, when he's bored, when he's needy, or when he realizes that you're distancing yourself, and he may lose the option to have you available whenever he wants. The most dangerous thing about this pattern is how it messes with your head. You get confused, not understanding what you did wrong for him to disappear, creating theories and blaming yourself. And when he comes back, you feel such relief that you accept any shallow explanation he offers, just happy to have his attention back. This vicious cycle of absence and intermittent presence creates a traumatic bond where you value the moments when he is present even more because they have become rare and unpredictable. Genuinely interested men maintain a consistent presence. They don't disappear for days without giving satisfaction. If something happens that will make them less available temporarily, they warn, explain, keep contact minimal. They don't leave you in the void because they know it hurts and disrespects. Consistency is a sign of respect, interest, and emotional maturity. Inconsistency is a sign of disinterest, lack of commitment, and complete disrespect for your time and feelings. If you're living on this emotional roller coaster, being left on the back burner whenever something better comes along for him, being rescued from oblivion only when he decides he wants your attention again, you need to recognize that you're being used. You are not a toy that he can drop and pick up whenever he wants. You are a complete person who deserves consistency, presence, and respect. And you definitely deserve someone who doesn't disappear from your life every time they don't need you anymore. Block this pattern before it completely destroys your self-esteem and your ability to recognize true love. 8. Your gut is already screaming the truth. Deep down you already know. That nagging feeling in your stomach, that lingering voice in your head telling you something's not right. That constant anxiety about where you really stand with him. Your gut has been sending you clear signals for weeks, maybe months, but you're choosing to ignore it because the truth hurts too much to face. Every time you feel that tightness in your chest after an interaction with him, every time you end a conversation feeling more confused and insecure than before, every time you have to obsessively analyze his every word and action trying to find signs of real interest, your body is telling you the truth. Healthy relationships don't leave you in a constant state of anxiety and doubt. They bring peace, security, clarity. When you're constantly questioning the other person's feelings, it's usually because those feelings just don't exist the way you'd like. Stop looking for evidence to contradict your gut and start trusting it. Stop asking friends if you're exaggerating, looking for alternative interpretations of obviously problematic behaviors, giving them more chances when they've repeatedly shown who they are, and how much they're willing to invest in you. Your instinct doesn't need legal proof to be right. It is based on thousands of micro-observations that your consciousness does not even fully process, but that your subconscious has already compiled into a clear verdict. The liberating truth is that you don't need any more signs. You already have enough information. If you've been reading this content, if each topic has resonated painfully with your situation, if you've found yourself in multiple of these patterns, you already know the answer. He's not interested. Not in the way you deserve. Not enough to build something real and reciprocal. And recognizing this is not giving up. It is freeing yourself. It's making room in your life for someone who doesn't leave you in doubt, who doesn't need detailed behavior analysis for you to understand where you are, who chooses you so clearly and consistently that your instinct finally rests in peace and security. 9. It never deepens the emotional connection. You share important things about your life, your fears, your dreams, your vulnerabilities, but you realize that the conversation always stays on the surface when it comes to him. He never really opens up, never reveals deeper layers of personality, never lets you get to know him beyond the superficial version he presents to anyone. There is an invisible but extremely solid barrier that prevents any real emotional intimacy from developing. When a man is interested in building something meaningful, he naturally begins to open up. He shares stories from the past, talks about his family, reveals insecurities, shares dreams and true goals. He wants to be known to you because real connection requires mutual vulnerability. But when the interest is not there, he keeps everything at the shallowest possible level. The conversations revolve around generic subjects, jokes, superficial comments about everyday life, but they never delve into genuine emotional territory. Also notice how it reacts when you try to dig deeper. If you ask more personal questions, he dismisses it or answers vaguely and evasively. If you share something emotionally meaningful, it changes the subject quickly instead of welcoming that moment of vulnerability. If you try to create emotional intimacy, he backs off and reestablishes the safe distance where he feels comfortable. This defensive behavior isn't about him being reserved by nature. It's about him not wanting to create deep emotional bonds with you. Emotional intimacy scares men who aren't interested because it creates commitment, expectations, real connection. It's much easier to keep everything light and shallow when you don't plan on staying. He avoids conversations about feelings, about what's going on between you, about expectations and desires. Any attempt by you to define the situation or understand where things are going is met with evasive responses such as, "Let's see how things flow," or "I don't want to put pressure on this." These beautiful phrases are just polite ways of saying that he doesn't want commitment or depth. Women often confuse initial physical or chemical attraction with emotional connection. He may be affectionate physically, he may have fun conversations with you, he may even be thoughtful in practical ways, but if there is never real emotional depth, if you never get past the surface, if you feel like you don't really know who he is even after months of interacting, that's intentional on his part. He's keeping you at a safe emotional distance because he doesn't want you to become too important, because he doesn't want to create bonds that he later needs to break. True relationships are built on increasing emotional intimacy. You start by getting to know the social version of the person, but over time you discover deeper layers, getting to know fears, traumas, joys, complexities. There is a natural movement of gradual opening that allows you to really get to know each other and connect on a meaningful level. When that movement just doesn't happen, when months go by and you still feel like you're interacting with an edited, shallow version of it, accept that it doesn't want to be known to you because it doesn't see a future where it would matter. You deserve someone who wants to build real emotional intimacy with you, who values your vulnerabilities and reciprocates theirs, who sees emotional depth as something desirable rather than something to be avoided. Stop settling for shallow connections that never go anywhere. Your heart is too precious to be wasted on someone who refuses to really let you in.